Hey guys, Brian McMillan here, back talking about being retired in the happiest country in the world. Don't I look like I'm happy? Hopefully you are. Today, as always, I'm going to get through this in about 5 minutes of time. We're going to cover three topics and three things about those topics. That's my general formula for getting to this. So if you're interested in being retired, I think anywhere in Europe, but specifically here in Finland, in the so-called happiest country in the world, I'm going to tell you a few things about here. So let's get started with language first. It was one of the questions I had 23 years ago, nearly 23 years ago, when I first came here for retirement. I actually visited here over 30 years ago, and I knew that this was a place that I'd like to spend some time in, not retire in, but spend some time in, because it looked much like the state I was born in the north of Michigan. I was born in Detroit, but in northern Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula, Finland pretty much looked like that, and northern parts of the Lower Peninsula. So for me, it seemed like a familiar environment anyway. Of course, the culture is different, the people is different, and the language is different. So speaking about the language, Finnish is a very difficult language. No and ifs or buts about it. Anyone, including Finns, will tell you it's a very difficult language for a number of reasons. I won't get into all of them because we need way more than 5 minutes and way more than 5 times 5 minutes or 50 times or 500 times 5 minutes. But anyways, it's very difficult. They pronounce absolutely every single consonant and vowel, and it means something to the meaning of the word. So if you're mispronouncing anything, you are not talking sensibly. So we'll get into Finnish again later, but I will say that it's a difficult language. Swedish is the second language of this country, and it's used infrequently these days, but it is the second language of this country as an official language. And the two, as I mentioned before, are not related. Finnish and Swedish are not related at all. English. English is the go-to language in this country, as it is in most parts of the world today, especially here in Schengen or in Europe. It's the go-to language. You have no problem, young and old, it doesn't matter, you will be understood. So don't get hung up on the language thing. Today, a bit about pension. If you're a pensioner thinking of bringing your pension here, the United States and Finland have a reciprocal agreement on pensions and the taxation of those pensions, and it works very well. I receive my Finnish pension. It's taxed by the Finnish government. I receive my U.S. pension. It is taxed by the Finnish government, and it is reasonably so. Don't expect to be taxed more than, let's say, 12 to 16%, again, depending on the size of your pension. Cost of living, we do have a very high VAT, value-added tax, that's sales tax, if you want to call it that. It's as high as 25.5% on most items. Food is less than that. It's about, I forget now, I think it's maybe 18, 16%, something like that. Don't let that shock you. It fits into the cost of living here. What is the cost of living here? Cost of living here, again, if I'm talking to Americans, and I think a lot of you would like to get out of the situation you're in there in the United States today, it's about 27% higher cost of living here. But it's worth every penny of it, and it equals out in the end, I will say, and we'll talk about that more. Regarding residency, to be able to live here, immigration is the best thing you can check. Immigree.fi, immigration.fi instead of .com, .fi, F-I. You'll, of course, need a visa to live here permanently. You're welcome to visit as a U.S. citizen, at least so far. Let's see what happens with the current government situation in the United States. Whatever they're doing could cause upsets or bumps in the road for you. But at this point, you're welcome to Schengen on a 3-month visa. No other requirement than your passport. It'll give you a taste of what life is like here. But then you'll need to apply if you're going to stay for a resident visa. And again, I am not going to advise you on that. I'm going to only advice I give you is contact immigration.fee. So immigri.fee. We're at that 5-minute mark. Coming up in the next video segment that we have here on my channel, I want to talk about medical and healthcare because I know that's important to you. The weather and traveling here within Finland, the Nordic region, and throughout Schengen. That would be throughout the European region and all the countries that are included in the Schengen Treaty. So that's it for today. Retired, living in the happiest country in the world. I'm Brian, and I'm glad you tuned in to hear what I have to say, and I hope you come back. Don't forget, please like and subscribe. It helps me out in keeping this coming to you, okay? Take care.